All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Between the Walls podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Jess.
And I'm Jonathan, and we are the Wallaces.
Yes, we are. How you doing today?
We're doing. Life is good.
Life is good. You know, I was thinking about that yesterday because I was doing a vlog and I was talking and I'm like, I cannot, okay, as a Christian, it's really hard to, I did not want to go into this. This just came out of nowhere, but
yeah, let's go.
It's hard to be a Christian and be struggling with fertility at the same time because on one end, we're coming in hot. Sorry, guys, this is not the plan, but on one end, it's kind of like, oh God, what's the big idea? What about me? And it's not fair. And on the other end, it's I'm so grateful for everything else. So it's I feel like sometimes I'm in limbo because I could be crying about when will it be? But I'm crying in my lovely house with my lovely husband, my lovely relationship, my lovely job, my friends, my family, my health is great. And I'm why are you crying? It's such a weird limbo,
weird
song
dynamic,
and dance. Yeah. But anyways, life is good.
Life is. It's all things said and done, there are still things that we want. There's things that we desire. Of course, there will always be, yeah.
But,
there's so many reasons to be grateful as well, so.
Yeah. Life is good. Shout out to God. He really did that. We just finished our fast.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I've been easing on in though. I really thought right when I finished my fast, I'd be double cheeseburger and blah, blah, blah. But I still pretty much today have been carrying on for the most part. It's 3:30 and I haven't really had an actual meal yet. I don't know. It's just, I think I maybe got used to it. But you know what's weird? The mind definitely plays tricks on you. When you know you can't eat, I feel it makes you
want to eat more.
Oh man, I'd do anything to have a blah, blah, blah right now. And right now I can have a cheeseburger or a steak and potatoes, but I'm I can wait a few more hours. I'm not dying to eat.
So, I get that. Yeah, I feel
it's a mind thing.
Even with, social media, that was a part of mine. I've just been not afraid, but I saw the benefits of not having it. And I don't want to go back exactly to how I was before with it. You know what I mean? I want to keep that balance, but it's tricky.
Yeah, I feel you have to make a conscious effort to not fall back into it because me with my eating, obviously right now, it's only one day post fast. I'm oh yeah, I'm kind of carrying on the same, but I can't say in 3 weeks that I'm not going to be scarfing down a double cheeseburger with a medium fry and barbecue sauce on the side. So you have to make a conscious decision. I have to be no, I'm not going to eat that way anymore or whatever. Definitely not going to eat the way I was on a fast because that's not normal. So
no, not especially your fast. Your fast was a little more
intense,
drastic than mine.
Yeah, it is what it is. I was praying hard. And you know what I learned on my fast? I didn't get what I went for. I got something different.
Ooh, that's good.
I went in for, I don't know if it was answers or clarity or whatever, but I feel I got something that will last me longer than an immediate answer.
What did you get?
So on my fast, I was praying for, a bunch of things. I had a prayer list, but there were two things that I was really all right, God, let's work on this here. Let's keep this going. And both of them went awry during my fast. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of the fast, before I was even fasting about it, it was going fine. I'm okay, let's just keep this going, God. I know you have the power to keep it going or whatever. But while I was fasting, everything that was fine crumbled. And I'm what's going on? I'm not eating and I'm spending hours in prayer for these things that were fine yesterday. And today they're doing horrible when I decide to spend time in prayer about it. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to quit. I'm this isn't working. I'm about to go eat because now that I'm spending time in devotion and prayer and I'm consecrating myself and denying my flesh to prayer over these two specific things, I'm and they're worse than they were when I was eating the double cheeseburger. So I'm what is the point? But I felt God was telling me when things are going wrong, will you still,
will you stay?
Will you stay? Will you trust me? Will you still have faith in me and stuff. And everything in me wanted to quit the fast because I was this is so, I felt really defeated. This is so silly. But I was you have to keep going, push past it. The verse that's been on my heart, I believe it's Galatians 6:9.
Yeah. Can you find it?
Yes, because it's been on my heart, but the words ain't quite tattooed on there yet.
Tell them what it's about, wife.
It's basically just about staying the course. I believe it's you will reap a harvest if you do not give up.
Yeah. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we do not give up.
Yes, that has been with me since like January 1st. It's what, January 20 something today, but I'm like, okay, just because your prayer didn't get answered or things went wrong right now, like it says in due season, and it also says if you do not give up. So it's like keep praying over whatever it is, like keep fasting for it, like keep bringing your petitions to God, is it?
Yeah.
To God. Don't give
With
up
prayer
on
and
it.
with prayer
Prayer
and petition.
yeah. And that's exactly what I was doing. And I'm like, okay, just don't give up. But I wanted to because I'm like, this is stupid. It's not working. But just keep going. So,
You know, what reminded me of what you were saying, Jackie Hill Perry had a sermon
I
at
love
Passion
her.
Conference.
Bro, she ate that up,
Yeah, she
man.
did amazing. And they just put it on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called In Defense of Hope. And basically saying as Christians, we need to continue to hope and
Yes, yeah.
continue to believe good things because God is on our side.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you read scripture and like the more you think back on your own life experience, you can see the history of God's faithfulness.
Yeah.
And you can continue to hope even when bad things or things have not gone according to your plan because God is still there and he has his plan. So
Right. And plans are greater. We've always talked about this. Like he sees what we can't see. So,
yeah.
you know, the one thing that's going wrong and that I was praying about, I don't see, maybe, I don't think that has anything to do with God. I think that situation is just not being handled right. And God's just like, well, whenever you guys are ready to be for real, then it'll be fixed. But
Yeah.
that's a conversation for
pray-
another day. I will never talk about that.
No, not here. But you pray for God to open the eyes of their heart so that
Yeah.
they see him more and see their own faults so that they can.
Yeah, so I can't even blame God for
better.
that. Like that's not a him thing. Anyhow, babe, it's a new week. Last week we talked about being afraid of the TikTok ban.
Yeah.
And what was it banned for? 14 minutes? Like
It was banned for 27 seconds.
All that hoopla.
I mean, but if anyone that deleted their app is now cooked.
I know. Did you guys delete your app? Because apparently if you deleted the app, like the app is no longer on the app store.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my problem with TikTok. I think it is a great app. I do. Well, do I have a problem with? Okay, well, no. Here's my problem with the ban. The ban just wasn't long enough. I obviously think, and most people think, I don't know if it's conspiracy theory, whatever, that it was just like a ploy for Donald Trump to be like, oh, I saved it in the nick of time or whatever.
Yeah,
but I feel like,
Superman
yeah,
vibes.
the Superman, I got the cape on, but I feel like he, not that I'm giving him any credit for this because he's the one who issued this ban.
He's the one that was like in
2020
2020 was like kind of shooting for it.
Yeah, so like you get no credit for that, but I feel like it would have been so much more powerful if it was actually banned for like a week. And then he's like, I fixed it, you guys. But literally went to sleep, it was banned, woke up, where everyone's scrolling again.
Well, I think I want to say for all the creators who their primary bread and butter is TikTok.
Oh, yes.
And for all the people that use
Sorry,
TikTok.
that was insensitive for them.
Like
I'm sorry.
Like a search engine. Shout out to you guys, it's back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they got like a 90-day extension, and now they have to figure out how to permanently make it back. But we'll see. But shout out to the people that benefit from TikTok.
Yeah. No, of course. Yes. I mean, I'm not preying on anyone's downfall. Obviously, I'm a creator, so like I want everyone to win.
Yeah.
So obviously, like a part of my like, oh, I wish we could see like how different our lives would be without it would obviously. That goes hand in hand with a lot of people losing jobs and like not being able to feed their families, which if that wasn't the case, I would have liked to see what people would have done and how much better or like what more tasks or
from a
consumer
standpoint.
Yeah, that we could have got done if it was gone for like a week or two just to like, even though TikTok's only been around for 4 years, but I can't remember what we were doing.
A time before that.
Before that, like where there was Vine, I think, but I was never really on Vine.
No, but Vine was like even before that. I mean, like, we had Instagram. It's like Instagram, Snapchat.
Oh yeah, I think Snapchat was more of like what we were on, but yeah, it would have been nice. Like I said, people's jobs losing aside, because I don't want anyone to lose.
Yeah, no, we're talking about from a consumer standpoint.
Yeah,
someone at church on Sunday was saying, "Dang, I use it so much that I wish it was actually banned for longer, so that could have been more productive."
Right.
When really, I mean, you're kind of in control of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you use TikTok the most for?
I think I use it for recipes the most.
Me too.
I don't scroll on TikTok super often.
I'm a mindless scroller a little bit.
I kind of try not to go on there because if I go on, I'll be on for a while. But my hand, when I'm thinking about social media, reaches to Instagram first. I think it's more like the aspect of I get some of the TikTok real stuff, but I'm also getting friends stuff as well, which I kind of care more about.
Okay. Yeah.
But either way, I mean, it's still the same. It's still the same thing.
Yeah, it is. Like I actually do go to Instagram first, but I'm there for like 5 minutes, see what my friends are doing, check a few stories, and then I'm like, okay, let's spend 10 hours on TikTok now. But when I go to TikTok, like I have TikTok's main purpose for me is for recipes because I'm trying to get into like my healthy eating bag. I'm like, okay, how do I make a high protein snack or whatever? But like mindlessly, it's just for entertainment. But anyways, I'm glad it's back.
I'm going to put you on the spot. How many hours do you think you log scrolling per day?
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you off camera? Okay, no. So my last update, I think, because I get like weekly. Do you get them too?
Yeah,
my phone sends. I don't believe it though. Like I think they're lying.
Oh no, it's bad.
Wait, you tell me yours first.
It's bad.
Tell me yours first.
I mean, it's not gonna look crazy now because I just had not been on it.
Oh yeah, that's part of your fast.
Yeah.
Was not part of mine.
I
Probably should have been.
Oh wow, the most by far on mine is messages app, like
texting.
Yeah. By a long shot.
So overall, okay, what's your daily average overall?
Daily average 5 hours and 23 minutes of total screen time.
Okay, mine's 7 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe it? What do you mean you don't believe it?
Because like they're saying I spent 7 hours on my phone.
Yes.
That's crazy. Hey, y'all, put in. Don't let us be the only ones putting ourselves on blast. If you're watching this on YouTube, put in the comments what your daily average is. You just go to your settings and then screen time, I believe. Yeah, settings and then screen time, and then it shows you. Well, it's a lot of time per day.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
It's kind of like...
How much time you spend on your Bible app?
I use my physical Bible.
I know that's right. That's
I have three physical
He
Bibles.
does. Jonathan has 3 Bibles in this house. I'm like, I know,
and they get used in rotation. There's the upstairs Bible, downstairs Bible, and then there's the road Bible.
On the road Bible. The green one?
Yeah, the green one's the road Bible.
Yeah. It's in his car right now. I drove your car earlier today. I was like, look at his Bible in the car.
You know, you gotta stay strapped.
Let me tell you guys something. Jonathan, like, okay, I feel bad about this, but whenever like we're in a church setting or like a few weeks ago at worship practice, Jonathan was sharing something that was on his heart, and he was talking about Jesus like so profoundly. And this is, maybe it's not wrong. He's my husband, but like whenever he's talking about like Jesus or something, like I'm not focusing on what he's saying. I just like
speak. This is an audio format.
I know, sorry. I just think other things that I shouldn't be thinking of in church. I'm like, dang, boy, something about the name Jesus. Hallelujah.
It's so funny because it's like only when I'm speaking about Jesus to other people. Yeah. But when I talk about Jesus to her, it's like, can we talk about...
Okay, that's cap. The past couple of days, because I've been frustrated with what's going on in my life.
We had a really good study on Galatians a few weeks,
we were having a good time.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we were having a good time.
I tried to carry it over to Ephesians, and she was like, "This is my personal time with God. I don't need you in it."
Oh my God. I'm like, can we talk about something else? I know that sounds bad, but at the time I was just like, I'm hungry, I'm fasting.
She was frustrated. She had a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and he's like, so then in Ephesians, I'm like, I know, I read it this morning. I just like, I'm hungry, and I just can't. I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm so sorry. Anyways, but I brought that up because Jonathan was talking to someone last week while he was getting a procedure done. Jonathan was getting a tattoo. Jonathan got a tattoo, you guys. Do you want to talk about your tattoo?
It hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Like, anyone that says it doesn't hurt's lying.
Yes.
Like, why would they lie like that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a tattoo also. I got one when I was 18. I'm 33 now, and I can't remember what it felt like at all to even give him a reference. I was like trying to the night before. With
she took like a pencil.
Some sharp tweezers. I was like, this is what it'll feel like. And he's like,
I'm like, oh, that's not bad.
It was a cakewalk.
Way worse than that, whatever she was doing.
The reason I brought that up is because while Jonathan's in pain getting this tattoo, he's in conversation with the artist. And he's like talking to him about Jesus, and like the artist was kind of telling him how he's not an atheist, but
No, he's an atheist.
I think he said he was like not really. Like his dad is an atheist, and he was like, I'm kind of like following along that, but like also I would go to church. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But Jonathan's like talking to him about Jesus while he's like in pain with the tattoo, and I'm like, bro, this is just the sexiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So I don't know, just it pays to marry a man of God. It does. I love it.
All right, let's get to the topic.
I love it.
Thank
Jesus
you,
knew
wife.
what he was doing. You gotta know. Like, is Jesus not like when I talk about Jesus, does it not like excite you?
It does excite me.
But not in that way.
Not in that way.
So I'm disgusting.
No. When it's kind of, when you talk about Jesus.
You're thinking about Jesus.
No, well, I'm thinking about you, but I'm thinking about all the ways that Jesus has you growing. And it's kind of what we were talking about with like the statue of David is in the marble, but God just has to chip away all the pieces that aren't him.
I don't know what you're talking about, but that's
You don't remember when I said that last week?
I was probably thinking about other things. I'm just kidding. I don't remember.
Basically, how God's already made us holy, right? Like there's a verse in Philippians that says that He will bring to completion the work that He started in us, right? So that's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
So that process, like I'm getting to watch that process in you, and that excites me that I get to be a part of seeing you grow and seeing you develop and seeing you become the woman that God's designed you to be.
That's very wholesome. I like that.
Right? So I love seeing that when you talk about Jesus. That makes me very happy.
Well, that's good. I like that. That's a nice thing to hear. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
babe.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Okay, let's really quickly run through our peak of the week, and then let's get into the topic for today.
I have a week to prepare, and I never know.
Don't have it? Well, I think I already said my peak of the week was watching you talk to that guy about Jesus. I thought that was I just thought it was so noble because me personally, I want to get better at this, but like, I feel like, and there shouldn't be a read the room about Jesus, but like, we were kind of like talking about it, and then you're like, yeah, well, have you been to church and like stuff like that? But after he said like, yeah, my dad's an atheist, and like, I wasn't really into the church thing, I was like, all right, I'll just drop it. But it should be the opposite. It's like, oh, you don't believe in Jesus? Well, let me tell you more. But for me, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to shove him on you. I'm just not going to say any more. But I loved watching you do that. And it encouraged me, instead of pulling away when someone's clearly telling me, like, I'm not about it, to, like, nicely, like, talk a little bit more about it. Not push it on them, but
yeah, but it's
say more.
not even, I don't even think I pushed anything on him.
You didn't. That's what I was saying.
But what I'm saying is that I think Christians usually, when they find out that somebody's a Christian, like, oh my gosh, let's talk.
I know. That's me. I'm like, oh, we have so much. Let's talk about it all day. And someone's like, I don't like Jesus.
But when we find out, like, usually the things that people don't like about Christianity, I say, that's not really my thing, have zero to do about Jesus. Like, not a thing at all. So that's when, and people like to talk about themselves. Or like when people are taking an interest in them. So it's like, oh, so what's your experience with it? You know, just let them explain. So I'm not putting anything on you.
Yeah.
I just want to hear where you're coming from, and I lead you, and it's kind of leading someone a place with your questions.
Yeah. You know what? I think I grew up with a lot of bad examples of people trying to push Jesus on other people because, I mean, I always talk about how I love the people I grew up with and all that, but I don't think their approach was the greatest, and I always wanted to be mindful of, like, I never want to be that way because I feel like it can turn people away so much more.
Oh, for sure.
So I think I needed to see more examples of people not sliding it in, but, like, just doing it in a different way other than, like, you're going to go to hell if you don't believe, but more so asking them, like, oh, so what do you believe? And, like, oh, and then just telling your experience instead of condemning them right away. So I feel like that's something that I could learn from, and it'll be easier to talk to people about Jesus because I'm not so afraid of offending them, you know. And I mean, sometimes it will be that way because the Bible, they say it can be offensive because people don't like to hear 100%. The truth. So and it's not always going to be like a smooth slide in, but it doesn't always have to be like you're going to hell type.
Yeah,
you
know?
And
I feel like people feel like they need to defend all the Christian baggage and all the things that ever went wrong in the church and feel like they have to explain all that stuff. But I read this book and it changed everything for me in terms of my thinking. Speaking of Jesus, I try to read it every couple of years or so as a refresher. But after I got saved for real, like I got really into apologetics, which means all apologetics is a fancy word for defending the faith or contending for the faith. And I got into all these kinds of arguments of like, okay, if someone says this is how you defend against that. If someone says this is how you defend against that. And I was just like so ready to get into like debates with people.
Right, yeah.
But every time I got into a debate with somebody, it ended up an argument rather than
that's not helpful.
speaking to each other. But I read this book called Speaking of Jesus. The guy's approach was like, yeah, I just tell them about Jesus. If like someone brings up something, one that I don't understand, it's like, well, all I know is that for me, blah, 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 blah. Or, I mean, of course, if someone asks you a question specifically, you try to answer it, but it's feeling a no pressure feeling. It's not that I have something for you rather than I want something from you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to push you across this imaginary saved line. I'm just want you to, like you weren't looking at Jesus before. Now I want you to look at him.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this is a guy that you might be interested in because he's great. If it's good news, it really is good news. Like you don't have to like sell it like a used car salesman.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, are you sure? Like you could, you know, I feel like people get real weird about it. And I think it doesn't have to be weird.
Yeah. That's what I experienced growing up. And like for me, I was already a Christian, so it didn't bother me in a way where I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to be a Christian anymore. But I could see how it was turning other people off. And I was like, oh, I don't want to be that person to turn someone else off. So, but that's something I need to work on.
Me too.
But then Jonathan prayed for him at the end of the tattoo appointment too. I was like, oh my gosh, I just love everything about this.
But it's crazy because that's something I've been praying for. Boldness. Because many times I don't say anything. Many times I don't say anything either.
Jonathan's been real. I know. I feel like I'm hyping. I know. I feel like I'm making you uncomfortable by hyping you up so much.
But I'm just saying that I'm in the same place. That was a good moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was good. I mean, anytime we take an Uber, you always ask them when we leave, like, how can I pray for you?
That's easy though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so passive. I'm like,
everybody wants to be prayed for.
I guess you're right.
But it's asking someone, do you know Jesus?
That's where
that's harder. That's harder than I'm still like working on that.
Okay. You'll get there. I believe it.
And you will too.
Thank you.
I believe it.
Thank you. All right. Do you have a peek for me?
Man, we just talk so much.
Wow. Horrible week, huh?
No, my week is great. It hasn't happened yet, but one of my friends, Kevin's about to get married tomorrow. And I'm really excited about that.
Shout out to Kevin and Nicole. We did
That's
tell them.
awesome,
Shout
man.
you out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Their story is beautiful. Shout out to them. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about today?
Well, I kind of wanted to segue from the
I'm sorry.
the conversation about TikTok, but it's kind of, and this is gonna be a short conversation, but about how to say no. In terms of forming boundaries around, like whether it be friendships, whether it be in relationships, whether it be for your time as well, you know, forming those places of how you could say no so you could best optimize the kind of life you want to live, if that makes sense.
I'm really bad at saying no, depending on who it is. The people that I'm closest to, it's very easy for me to say no. Like it's my brothers, my mom, my dad, like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry. And I'm like, no. But I find it very hard to say no because I do think I have a little bit of people pleaser in me. So I think I'm someone who will say yes in the beginning and then I will like try to get out of it later because in the moment I didn't know how to say no, but it's easier to like make up an excuse later for me. You know, that's horrible, but yeah. So let's get into it.
So wife, why do you think it's so hard for us to say no?
Well, I don't know about you, but for me, I was talking to my friend Shakira about this the other day. She came over and I was telling her how this sounds weird and it may sound wild or whatever, but I was telling her how not that I have too many friends, but I have too many commitments to hang out with too many different people. And because I don't know how to tell people like no. And I was telling her, and please don't take this the wrong way because I don't want anyone to think that I think that I'm like Beyonce or whatever. But I was telling her, I don't ever want anyone to think that I think I'm too good for them. Because obviously I know that a lot of people at my church know that I have like a social media presence and they're like, you know, they're not impressed by it, but they're excited about that. And not that I think that that's why they want to be my friend, but I know that they are aware of that about me. And I know that some content creators can have like a bad rap of not being as nice as they are on camera in person. And not only that, like I'm on the praise team, so like I never want anyone to think that I just think I'm better than them. Like, oh, I'm too good to hang
Yeah.
out with you, or oh, I'm too good to come to, or too good to speak at your women's conference, or I'm too good to sing at your, friends, whatever. So I never want anyone to think that I think I'm better than them and that I'm just too good. So I feel like I'm always wanting to seem available and like, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. And not that I'm being fake, like, oh, so are you trying to come off like relatable or down to earth and you're really not? It's like, no, but I think that I overextend myself because I could commit to my commitments if less people were asking me. But I feel like since it's so many and I'm like always saying yes, then I guess then it kind of is kind of fake because I am saying yes when I want to say no because not that I don't necessarily want to. I mean, sometimes I don't want to, but I literally can't. But in the moment, I want to say yes because I don't want them to think like, dang, she's mean. I asked her to go to lunch with me and she said no. Like, how do you say no if someone says like, oh, I would love to get to know you? Like this one time, this girl asked me to go to coffee with her. And I don't even think I knew her name yet, but she was like, I love your videos. This is at church. Like, I love your videos. I would love to go to coffee with you. How do you say no? Like, I think I'm good off that. Like, I don't really want to. I don't know how to do that.
But the fighting of that feeling of thinking that other people will think that you think that you're too good for them. Like, where do you think that comes from? Sorry, I don't want to sound interviewy, but
no, it's fine. I think because I was talking to my friend Shakira. First of all, she was like, first of all, no one thinks that. Like, she's like, first of all, who do you think you are? But respectfully, she's like my best friend, so she can tell me that. But I think it's because I'm an overthinker for one. Because maybe no one would even think if I said no that they would think like, dang, like I guess she's not that nice. But also, I think some people would maybe think that. So I don't know. But I do think my overthinking has caused me to make things much bigger in my head than what they really are. So
I think hearing this from you is actually pretty insightful because, like, I am on the other side of your yeses, like to other people, and so I see the other side in the background, and like I see you dying sometimes
struggling
because a lot of people might not know that you're an introvert. Like you really are an introvert.
I know. Even like when Shakira was here, and I was like, I'm an introvert. She's like, no, you're not. And she's one of my best friends. But like, I'm so good when I'm good. Like, I can go out. And again, it's not me being fake because when I'm out or I'm at a party or if people come over, like I have a good time and I love to be like life of the party, but my fuse burns quick.
She's a star that burns bright but burns very fast.
Quick, okay? And like I can have fun and talk to people after church, but like even this past Sunday, like we spent like an hour extra after church talking to people. We normally
do not do that.
Don't
usually
do that. And then what did I do after church Sunday?
She shut down.
I went to sleep for like 4 hours.
Yeah, she went away from everybody else and just...
we were at his parents' house. Everybody was downstairs watching the game, just having a good time in the community. And I just walked upstairs. I didn't even tell anyone, like, hey, I'm going to go take a nap. I just walked upstairs and I went to sleep for like 4 hours because I was burnt out just from talking to people for an hour. And I was having a good time. I was talking to my friends. We're kikiing. We're laughing. Jonathan had to come get me twice. He's like, hey, you ready to go? And I'm like, in a second. But I was exhausted. Like my social battery burns so fast. Like people can fuel me, but they also burn me out at the same time. So that's just how I am. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like that no is just so necessary. I feel like people definitely don't ask me to do as many things as they ask you to do. So it's less of a thing for me. But you can see the power of that no. You know,
your life is so peaceful. Like
yeah, because sometimes when someone asks me to do something, if I really don't have time for it, I just really won't do it. Because it does give your life a balance so that you can give more to the things and the people that require your time. You know what I mean? Or that you'll just have more quality time rather than when you're in things feeling like, oh my gosh, can I get out? Can I get out? Can I get out?
I also feel like it helps you become much more a man of your word because you don't have to cancel 100 things because you didn't say yes to 100 things. Like you said yes to like 2 things so you can follow through. Whereas I say yes to 15 things and I'll only end up doing 7 of them and canceling the other 7 because like I just can't do it, and it makes me look less of a. I'm probably hurting myself more than if I would have just said no in the beginning, than saying yes to someone, getting their hopes up, and then canceling, not because I don't want to, but I'm just like, crap, I just don't have the time. Like I overexerted myself or overextended myself, and I just can't do it. So,
and I think one part of the thing that kind of gets you too, that doesn't get me, I think people have the assumption because I have a more traditional job that I'm at work. They just assume that I'm at work.
Can't do it
because and right now I'm not working Tuesdays or Thursdays. So like I have a lot of time.
Don't say that too loud now.
But a lot of people just assume like Jonathan's working because he has a traditional 9 to 5. But because people don't take your job seriously a lot of the times. So people be calling you all throughout the day.
They do, yeah.
Calling you all throughout the day, asking you all types of questions. Like, I don't want people to feel bad, but it's like they'll be like, "Oh, it's my day off. Can you hang out?"
Yeah.
But if you see, me and Jess were just talking about this to the vlog, but like no one gets to see how much she is working almost all the time.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Jess doesn't take that much downtime just to like do nothing. Like almost none of her time is her doing nothing. Even when she's watching like TV, she's doing work as well. So she's working hard all the time. If she's saying yes to you,
I'm taking time out of
she is stopping her work
to hang out. Yeah.
Which many times frustrates me because on the back end, she has to now work a lot more on the back end, which stretches her out.
Yeah, and then you get burned for it sometimes because like there'll be times, say I like committed to going to lunch with someone, so now I'm stopping to work. I'm gonna stop complaining in a second, you guys.
It's not complaining. It's explaining.
I am like stopping my work to go to lunch with someone, and then it's time for us to go to bed. But I'm like, babe, I'm sorry, I'm not going to bed. I'm gonna be in the office tonight, and I'm in the office till like 3 a.m. And I'm like creeping into the bed, like, and I'm just trying to like wake Jonathan up to see if he'll like cuddle me. But man's asleep. He's like, we should have been in bed 5 hours ago. But you know, the problem is I can't blame other people too much. But the reason why people are so comfortable calling me and asking me like, or saying, oh, my day, because I have allowed it for so long. People would call me. I just recently have started ignoring people's phone calls. But people would call me in the daytime and I would answer. I would always answer. Or it's like, hey, can you do this XYZ next Monday at 11:30 a.m.? And I'm like, you wouldn't ask someone who works a 9 to 5 if they can do something for you at 11:30. But like you said, since people take my job as you can do whatever you want. I remember saying something to one of my cousins a while ago, and I was like, oh, I can't because I have to work. It was like a Wednesday or something. I can't have to work. Like, you don't have to work? I'm like, no one takes me seriously. I'm like, how do you think these videos get posted? But anyways, I have allowed it myself for way too long, and it makes other people think, oh, she doesn't have to work because I asked her to go to lunch with me at 12 on a Monday, and she said yes. So it's my fault too, and that goes back to me not being able to say no.
You know what's so interesting? I just thought about. I think many times, like when you're thinking about saying no, you're thinking about the cost of your no. And there's a cost to that. The cost of saying no is that someone might feel sad. Someone might feel
like rejected,
or you know,
all the things.
Might feel away. They might feel something about you, but there's a cost to your yes.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
Because like our time resource is only so time and energy resources, especially for you, only so high, and that can really kind of throw things off for your day in terms of things that you've promised to, whether it be family or whether it be me or whether it be other friends too, you know, that suffer because of the cost of that yes. So I feel like many times it can feel easier to say yes, but it's like not.
Yeah. You know what it is also though? Like I feel like I'm not good sometimes, because I can be selfish, but like I think of, say how if like, I don't know if this is a good example. Like, say my mom watches my nieces and nephews majority of the time. Like, sometimes she'll go on vacation and she'll be like, oh my gosh, can you watch the kids? Because I'm going to be out. And it's like a work day. And I'll say yes, because it's like, for me, I know that saying no is selfish because now they have to hire someone to watch the kids when I could just do it. I'm their aunt, I'm their godmother, of course. But I know that I can watch them during the daytime and then I can just work overnight. Where some people's schedule is not like that. They have to work between the hours of 9 and 5. I technically could work whenever I want, but that's not a good quality of life for me. But then I just feel like, I can do it. Do I want to? Is it great for me? Probably not, but I can make a sacrifice. And it feels selfish if I don't. You know? So
Yeah.
I feel like I struggle between that sometimes. Like, even when it comes to like a church thing, if somebody asks me, like, oh, can you do this church thing from 12 to 4 or come to this conference? It's like, I need to work. I have things due, but like maybe I can go in the daytime and then now I can work at night, whereas other people can't do that. So I think I struggle with that also.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a balance, you know, and like really examining things that you feel called to do or things that you're guilt doing.
I do be guilt doing things.
You know what I'm saying? There are times where God will call you to sacrifice, whether it be time, whether it be money, whether it be resources, energy. And there are times that you might be doing it just because I feel guilty, and you're thinking about all those other things.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? There's I think there's a difference. One thing that I noticed, kind of shifting gears from just like the friends thing, and we were kind of talking about it a little bit with the TikTok thing. Other things kind of grabbing time that, for me, I'll talk for myself personally. I realized one of the days of the fast, because I wasn't watching TV or movies or doing social media. So at home,
All your entertainment was pretty much gone.
all my regular entertainment was pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So that's like, I did that for about like a week or so. I realized how much time I had for things that matter more,
Yeah.
but are like less urgent. Like they're more important, but less urgent. And usually we don't do the important and we do the urgent.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like the urgent thing is like, oh, I have to do this right now. I have to do this right now. And it just felt so freeing. Like I had a meeting with something for church and they asked me to do this thing. Right? And usually I'd be like, oh, I'll do it sometime within the week and then turn on my show, turn on a movie
Right.
or something. But when I didn't have those things that are fun, that are good, that there's nothing wrong with, I was so much more able to do things that did matter.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we get really addicted to comfortability and things that give us comfort, things that give us joy, things that give us pleasure. You know, I thought so much so that I needed to put on the podcast on the way home rather than listening to a sermon or rather than listening to worship music or rather than it just even being silent. I'm like, oh, I need something that's going to relax my mind.
Yeah.
I just need some mindless content, stuff that's going to relax my mind. And as nice as it can be and as nice as it is, we don't really need it.
Yeah.
And I found that after a certain amount of time, like there are some things I still wanted to listen to, podcasts that I missed out on, but like I didn't crave it like I did, like I thought I was going to.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different thing than the no.
Well, it's still
Saying no to yourself.
Well, I guess it's like saying no to yourself for things that matter less, so that you had more time for things that matter more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm working on it. Actually, I'm lying. I'm not working on it. I need to be working on it. But it's just like, how do you work on things like that? Like, how can someone be better at saying no? Like, I was talking again to my friend, and it's like, okay, the next time someone asks me, hey, do you want to go to lunch Tuesday at 2:30? It's like, she was like, say, I forgot what she told me to say. I was supposed to practice in the mirror. Like, she's like, I don't have the capacity to do that right now. That sounds, I don't know. I feel like that sounds so mean.
Or it's like, I usually have to be working around that time. Can we do 2 weeks from now on Friday evening? You know what I mean?
But I want to hang out with you Friday evening, so.
Well, you do it before I come home, like Friday evening before I come home. But I'm saying it's like
I have to work at that
you
time.
just give them a different time.
I don't have a time to give people.
Then it's like, honestly,
I don't have the capacity.
honestly, right now, yeah, right, you don't have the capacity.
Okay, let's practice.
Hey, do you want to hang out tomorrow around noon? I don't have anything to do.
Okay, where are we going? Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I
Maybe you
think
have to pray for boldness in it.
Yes, I think I need to pray for boldness. I think I also need to stop thinking that people are. I think, you know what? I need to be okay with not being liked. I think that is it. I don't have to have everyone like me. But
Yeah.
at the same time,
I do have to have everyone like
and like
me.
it's not like I think with my responsibility of being on the worship team, I don't ever want to be leading worship and someone's looking at me and is distracted because they're like, I don't like her. I don't like I'm singing about Jesus, but they're looking at me and like I don't really like her and they can't focus.
But sometimes these problems aren't about you; they're about these people.
That's true, but I feel like I have to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm not distracting like
Yeah, but if you're not,
people.
if you're nice to them, then that's not your fault. That if you can't hang out,
That's true too.
you only have so much time.
I know.
But remember, Jesus didn't say yes to everybody either.
That's true. I was trying to think about that.
He
I'm like
really-
thinking times where he like said like no, or he definitely told me no. I still like him. Sorry, just
No, but I'm
most of the
saying is
time.
that like if you think about the person that wanted to go into the pool to get healed and he had been waiting there for a long time, everybody's going to this pool to try to get healed. Jesus goes to the one person. Jesus, when you talk about that he took time for himself, there's so many times in the Bible where it says Jesus went away to pray. Like he took time out to pray, and the disciples would be like, "But Jesus, like there's all these people over here waiting for you." It's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. But I'm gonna go over here
I'm
though.
gonna pray real quick.
I'm gonna go, or like I'm gonna go somewhere else. So most of his ministry was in places that weren't very populated or that weren't the prime places you'd want to be if you were trying to grow a thing or like build a booming like industry. Or he would just go off to the quiet places,
Yeah.
talk to people that didn't matter. You know what I mean? And did some people probably hurt or their feelings were hurt? Maybe. But in order for your time to be best used, you have to have boundaries around it.
Yeah. It's about boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. That's just something that I've been seeing in myself for years now that I just need to work on. Right now, I'm working on reversing the damage that I've already done with everyone saying yes so much and answering phone calls all the time. And now, now that I'm ignoring phone calls and nobody hates me, so I think everything is fine.
Okay, yeah.
I need to realize that like people can't think you're mean just because you can't do something. And if they do, like you said, that's not on
That's
me,
a them
on
thing.
them.
That's not a you thing.
Yeah, unless I say like, ew, no, get away from me. I don't want to hang out with you. I'm too good for you. Then you can think
Then
I'm
you're just
mean.
being mean.
Yeah, then I'm being mean. But like, I have to understand that I'm not mean because I can't.
Yeah.
XYZ, you know? And once I get past that and stop overthinking, I think it all goes down to my overthinking. Like, stop overthinking everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't change people's minds. If someone is going to be upset, don't think about that because there's nothing you can do about it because you just don't have the capacity. It's fine.
I think one thing that God let me kind of deal with when we were having our, relationship stuff before we even started dating or in a situationship, there's a time period where a lot of people in the church like didn't like me. Like a lot of people around me just didn't like me. And I had stuff like that happen like throughout my life. Just mistakes that I made cause.
There are people in the church that didn't like you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice.
Someone told my dad that if he's preaching, I'm not coming to church that day.
Wow. Dang, they were bold. I need some of that boldness. Because
Yeah.
why would they tell that to your
Yeah.
dad? That's crazy. Okay.
I think that God allowed me to go through that because a lot of people saw some of the mistakes that I made, but they didn't see my heart that I was trying, but I was failing. That if you could see that it was me, a person trying and failing,
Yeah.
then it's like you have more of a heart for them. But feeling like that, and then when God started changing me more so to be able to make the right decisions, there were still baggage and pain and scars from things that I had done previously or people that I had hurt previously. And I'd carry the weight of a lot of that. But I think learning to forgive yourself or learning to just know that sometimes there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah. Like it is what it
Like
is.
there's a really you can't please everybody. You might have done and even if you did something to hurt somebody and you apologize, or you didn't do something and you didn't apologize, like or whatever, you're never going to be able to please anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So you have to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you try to, like, if you harm somebody or you hurt someone's feelings, you do what you can in order to reconcile.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to be reconciled, what can you do?
Yeah, that's true. You can only do what you can do.
And then live with the results.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I feel like as people, we got to hit it's above me now.
That's above me.
You know where that came? You know where that came from?
No.
After in PT school, after we would take tests, everyone would be stressed. Like, oh my gosh, what answer did I put for whatever? I'd be like, no need to stress it now. It's above me now. It's over. Why are we so stressed? It's done.
Yeah, that's fair. It's above me. I'm gonna start saying that.
It's above me now.
Yeah.
Like, it's over.
I need to get a T-shirt. Like, right, it's above me, bro. I don't know what else to tell you.
I literally can't do anything else. So it doesn't make any sense to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, and there are so many things that we're like,
I know.
and you can't really do anything about it.
There's a verse on my heart, but it's not coming to me. So maybe it's not really on my heart.
We'll say what I might be able to help you.
It's just about worrying. Like, why worry?
If he dresses the lily.
I know. Is it that one?
Beauty and splendor.
I don't think that's the one.
If you gotta take
It's like how much? No, like
if
how
God
much?
takes care of all
No,
this-
how much? Something can worrying add to your?
Yeah, it's the same passage.
Oh, is it? I didn't read my Bible, child.
Can worrying add any more time?
Single hour
to your life?
No.
No, not a single.
No, and I need them hours because I got lunches to go to, so I can't waste my time worrying. I got commitments. But yeah, I can work on that. I will work on that.
Yeah.
Ask me something right now. I'm really good at saying no to you, and I actually want to flip that. I want to give you more yeses and other people more nos.
Yeah, I think something that we talked about on the episode we were talking about friends. We talked about that you can only be so close to so many people at a time.
Yes, a friend to everyone is a friend to no one, and I feel like that. I feel like I'm getting to that place because I can't even give like real time to people because I'm giving more to like smaller times to more people instead of more time to less people.
Yeah. So it's like the people that you want to be on that inner circle, they get more of your time. You know, the people that you're discipling get more of your time because that's all you have capacity for.
Yeah.
And for other people that you care about, but might not be in the inner circles, every once in a while you can make time for them, but it's not, they don't have a standing appointment.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So you have this to a science. That's what you're telling me.
I don't, because we were talking about not just time from people, but time in general.
Oh.
Like all the other things that steal my time.
Okay. So you have to work on dying yourself, and I have to work on dying to other people.
You have to die to yourself too. It's just different. But I think
die to my yeses or to my nose. Die to my nose or die to my yeses.
You just have to think about not thinking about how much other people care about you.
Okay, that's fair. Because maybe no one even really cares. Maybe we should start there. Like, girl, no one cares about you as much as you think people do.
I think people care about you, but I think you need to.
But not as much as I maybe think. It's like, oh my gosh, Jess can't hang out today. Like maybe they don't care. I don't know.
It's like, oh yeah, let me just hang out with Jess. She's always available.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna ruin their day if I don't hang out. Like maybe they don't care.
Maybe you think too much of yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Remember the verse we were reading? It was like, you're not that important.
Yes.
Paul said in Galatians.
Yeah, it's like you thought
you're not that important.
You're not that important. I was like, ooh, okay, that was for me. Yes, sir. Heard you loud and clear. Yeah. The title of this podcast, you're not that important. No,
that's not it. But you really can't please everybody. And I think for me, that's not my battle, but like really in terms of when you think about time as that resource, what things are worthy of my time? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I just care so much about things that don't matter at all.
Yeah, same.
It's like, I gotta watch this episode. It's like, yeah, I can, but like I didn't spend any time with God.
Right.
It's like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm. Really, right, getting the priorities straight.
During the fast, like I just had so much more time with God. Like I got to read my Bible 3 times a day, and not even that I read my Bible more, but the things that I was reading, I understood more, and I wanted to spend more time understanding more.
Yeah, because you're spending more quality. It's
like,
much more quality.
I didn't just like, all right, read. All right, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's going to carry on after your fast?
I hope so. Mm-hmm. I'm trying.
Yeah. But
I know how this life goes. The life has some
ebbs and flows.
But I want to ebb and flow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might come down from this mountain, but I don't want to go down to like here. I want to go down to here.
Right.
So the next mountain's up here. And then it's like,
going to higher
we're
heights.
still going up.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tell it, I actually tell it to people all the time in terms of like physical therapy. They come to work and, well, like they're not at work. I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
They come into me at the office and they'll be like, I was feeling great for the past week. And then yesterday I just had a day where I felt awful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's happening? I thought I was improving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, if you look at it before, you were having bad days every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But now you string together like 5 good days and then one bad day. You have to look back on where you came from.
That's a word for somebody. Come on.
When you look back on where you should have been.
Life. Yes.
From where he took you.
Hallelujah. Jesus. That girl from 2819.
Yo, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Or, that song Mercy that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I love that song so much because I really feel like it's my life, that I'm living proof of what the mercy of God can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew me then,
you believe me
you
now.
believe me now. He turned my whole life upside down. He took the old and he made it new. That's what the mercy of God could do. And it's like, and it's really true because if you did know me then, you would
believe me now.
Because man, I was a mess.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this literally yesterday. Like, I was a mess.
Doesn't it make you want to cry sometimes?
Yes.
It's like, dang, you really brought me out of the trenches.
Like, took me up and brought me out.
Mm-hmm.
That there's no way without Jesus.
Yeah.
And Kevin, the guy I was asking about, talking about earlier, that congratulating on his wedding, he was talking to me, and he was like, a lot of the stuff that you guys talk about and post, or like, where do you get it? Like, where do you get it from? Like, what do you read? What are you reading? I'm like, I'm reading things, but God teaching me through like these life experiences was like the biggest thing out of all these things. Like, if like the levels of how much I didn't like myself, the levels of how much like I went through. I mean, other people are like, your life's been so good. What have you gone through? But like, to me, like the things that I went through, I feel like God just pulled me out the other side. That's all there is to it. There's no, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps no, bro. God pulled me up.
Yeah. Shout out to God, right?
Honestly, if we talk longer, then like every podcast would end like this, or just like, no, it's really God. God did everything.
Me.
Woe was me. I'm a man of unclean lips.
Come on, you better recite the word. All right, babe.
That was fun.
That was fun. All right, so I don't have the capacity for this right now.
This podcast?
No, I'm practicing. I do need to edit my vlog, and I'm sitting here doing this. But
no, I'm actually leaving Jess so that she'll edit. She has full time to edit her vlog.
Thank you. I'm gonna probably do something else. But
what else are you gonna do?
I have to edit something else.
Edit the vlog. Bro, the comments are full of people being like, yeah, this is nice, but where's the vlog?
Where's the vlog, though? You guys.
Edit the vlog.
I don't have the capacity for the vlog right now. I'm sorry. Well, I'm starting to tell more people know so that I have more time to edit my vlogs.
Yeah.
And I'm getting an editor, so now I have more time to... No, I still need to tell people.
No. Still need to tell people. We have way more work. We got more work to do.
The work is not yet done. Anyways, you guys, do you have anything else you want to say?
Man, I love you guys.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I love looking at you. I love looking at the comments. We read them almost all. I mean, we try to read all those initial ones for sure.
Yeah, like within the first hour or two, you're for sure getting responded to.
Yeah. After that, I'll try my best.
Yeah. Jonathan does most of the responding. And if someone's asking me a question, he'll ask me the question and then respond as me.
Yeah.
And if you ever get one that's a little spicy, it was probably me.
Yeah, I won't yell at you guys.
Yeah. I don't yell. But
even if you're being disrespectful.
Yeah. No, see, that's why I stopped reading them. Because if someone like is trying it, I'm gonna show you that I'm not the one, actually.
No, but when someone tried Jess, it actually made me upset. And I just didn't reply, but it made me upset.
See,
you're like, she's so full of herself. I'm like,
well, this podcast probably didn't help me singing like,
excuse you?
This podcast did not help. I'm like, some people want to hang out with me, and I just don't want to ruin their day and not.
No, but I mean.
No, I'm just kidding. People are going to say whatever they want to say. And remember what we said earlier?
Can't please everybody?
I can't. Yeah, I got to let people think what they want to think. And honestly, with having a YouTube channel for the past 8 years now, you think I'd be better at that. But I think it's really the people I know in real life. I just want to be like a good example. But the people who don't know me for real, I can't ever be mad at someone who doesn't know me for real.
Those people that don't know you for real, bro, like, whatever,
yeah, like, if
bro.
they say something that's not true, like, you don't, like, the opinion shouldn't matter anyway. But we do love you guys, though. Obviously, it's not you watching this because you guys are our friends.
You shouldn't take opinions from people who don't love you to heart.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you might if everybody in the comments was saying the same thing, like,
then maybe
like,
yeah.
Like, for example, the Maverick City thing with Dante Bo, like that interview.
You guys,
like when people all the comments are like, it's like, it's bad.
This wasn't it.
It's bad. It's
that
like, all
was
right,
tough.
you might need to.
I was sad watching that one. I was like, this could have been a redemption story, and it didn't do it for me. I never want to talk down on anyone. I'm sure he's seen it, but I was like,
God bless them, man.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I couldn't even finish the interview. I was like, yeah, I got to stop this because it's not helping what I already think in my head. So, yeah, this was a good convo.
But that's not who you should get his insight from. His insight should come from people
in his circle. Yeah. Right. So I hope they did, but who cares what I think? Because I don't know him for real, so.
Oh, speaking of yeses and nos.
Yes.
Don't surround yourself with yes men.
That's too.
Or if your friends have never checked you or never told you that you're tripping, or the people around you never tell you that anything's wrong, you got a problem.
You got to circle of yes men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Like, I don't like hurting people's feelings, but I will tell my friends, like, that was not it, girl. Don't ever do that again.
My boys, especially Josh, will tell me, like, that's not good.
Where's Josh?
Barrett.
Oh, yeah.
Usually from when something I did that bothered you, who you told his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who tells him.
Yeah.
Who then tells me.
Yeah. I'll tell him myself, too. But, hey, get your boy for real before I get him.
All right, we're out for real now.
We love you guys.
So much. Please like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Repost.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Do it.
It helps.
Us.
It helps us. And the last time we asked you guys to do that, we got to the number that we're looking for. And I don't really have any number in mind right now, but
what are you talking about? Over the 10K.
Yeah, 10K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep sharing.
Yeah, if you like it. If you don't, then don't share.
Or
no, just kidding. Still share.
No, if you have something that you want us to talk about that we haven't talked about, please hit our DM.
Yeah, or leave it in the comments.
But specifically the DM. I don't be checking the emails. But the DMs, I do check.
We should check our emails. There's probably
I will check the emails too. So just send it to us somewhere and we'll find it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it.
All right. We love you guys. We'll see you next Monday or whenever you're watching this. Love you. Bye.